What's up, guys? I hope you're having a great day today. I'm excited to do some weather with you. Happy Sunday. I've had a cool day. I had class. We are getting there with our book, which I will probably go live about um at some point this week. I'm going to make a little how-to video to help people understand what to do through the thing, and then we'll be good to go. So, I am making my way through a lot of projects and finishing all the things I started, and it feels so exciting because now we can start moving into new things. And it feels like I haven't been moving into new things. It's like so many limitations, stuckness. I think that a lot of people have been seeing that. And actually, we can just go into this because the sun and Saturn are in an opposition right now. And a lot of people are talking about it. It seems to be bringing, somebody specifically said, hard karma. And maybe what it looks like is like tension within the themes of discipline, limitations, authority. Who's making your decisions? Is it you? Is it them? Is it a mind? Don't let the mind make your decisions. It's like this authority thing. We don't understand how big these changes that we are going through with the theme of authority, we don't understand how big that is and how it's affecting us everywhere, from marriage to parenting to work. Like, this authority thing is really intense. And so maybe you're seeing control, restriction, maybe taking a loss, giving something up. Whatever you're going through today, I've heard multiple very hard stories today. Be gentle on yourself and others. Okay, I'm going to say a lot of good things to help us make it through hard times like this, but just being gentle on yourself and others, trusting life to take care of you. Your life, it will take care of you more than your mind, more than their mind. So if you can put your faith and trust with life and work directly with it, we are going to make it through in the smoothest way possible by living like that. And so this is what I try to help people do. And so, where are we at? We are ending 63, and I'm going to go ahead and look forward to the energy that we're moving into maybe in an hour or two. But where are we supposed to be right now as we finish up gate 64? We are either seeing some type of victory and completing a transition, maybe like moving into that new beginning, making sense of that past thing so that you can go into the next. So we're moving in transition. Or we're finding that we've lost perspective, and maybe that losing of perspective is affecting whatever we're trying to move into right now. And so it's really funny, like life is such a cosmic joke because all week last week, the sun was just pumping us full of mental pressure about the past, making sense of the past. So now today we are moving into the other side of that channel, and it is the one that actually does make sense of the past. It's the one that grabs that memory and it's like, this is the one that makes everything make sense right now. And so we can make sense of all of the pressure that we've taken on over the last week. And this gate 47, it's 47.1. It's called taking stock. And I'm going to say taking stock in mental oppression. Okay. Because this gate can really run people around. It can have you see everything as hopeless. Like everything is oppressive. Everything is overwhelming. Like you just can't get out from under that rock that you've been living under. It's like, it's such a weight and it's mental. So it's really wild to me to watch this gate. And what it wants is to figure out what will work. Why didn't it work? Whose fault was it that it didn't work? What went wrong so that we don't do it next time and it will work? It's like this can become a little obsessive. And it's collective. It's a collective making sense of the past. When you see these memories, they are your personal memories, but you making sense of it helps others. So that when you see them in experience, you can share with them, you can share about your past, they can have some type of realization. So never think that you making sense of your past is for you. Like we don't have to put that pressure on ourselves. We can know that we naturally make sense of the past and we naturally share it with others. And that is a natural process of understanding that humans work together to do. And so don't let this collective energy become oppressive to your individual self and life. This is also the beginning of an introspective process, which is like an internal going inside, and that can be uncomfortable. Like the realization process is uncomfortable because, okay, I'm living my life, I'm being one type of way, and then boom, all of a sudden I have a realization, and now I have to live my life and be another type of way. What I know now has changed. the way I see life now has changed, right? And so it can be this like this process that just feels very uncomfortable, limiting, something that you want to escape and get out of. And it can be hard, like these beliefs. If you are your mind, then you are beliefs. Like your identity is a collection of beliefs. And so putting down one of those beliefs, it can feel like it shatters you, but you're not your mind. And these beliefs have nothing to do with who you are. So it's like we have the opportunity. This is the gate themes. We have the opportunity that negative thoughts need to be eradicated. So putting down useless beliefs, like nobody needs a single belief to live their life at all. We can just work with life and live. So we can either sit down these useless beliefs that are oppressing us. That's where the oppression actually is. Um, or maybe we have the sense that the world is against us and we're feeling overwhelmed. We're looking out there. We are relying too much on our mind to make sense of life. And life is lifing and it's not adding up to the way that we've made sense of it. And so it's like we have to put that down. Instead of thinking that life is against us, it's not lifing like I want it to life, right? Like it's not against you and it doesn't mean anything about you. You've got some type of belief that's not allowing you to see and experience the full spectrum of life as it is, right? You're trying to control it and change it based on your belief structures. And to me, like those things aren't real at all. Like the mind literally doesn't have to grasp life, or maybe I should say it never even has. It's like the matter is this changing, unfolding mystery, and the mind is here to watch it. It's here to measure, label, compare. These are the functions. And instead, it thinks it knows everything about all of it. And that's the stuff that's really oppressing you. That's when life starts to feel heavy because you've got some stuff going on in there that doesn't add up to the real life out here. And so when you are doing that and you're over relying on the mind, you've got this sense that the world's against you. A lot of times the stories that come out is it's all about them. Like, well, they just always do it like this. So that means I have to this and this, this, this. And it's like none of that. Like you can always leave, you can always set the beliefs down that are causing you to see them negatively, or maybe see yourself more positively, or there's some internal thing that you can sit down that will make it all make sense. And if you can do that thing, you don't have to go through the hopelessness and the trying to control yourself and others and all of the things that this oppression, this mental oppression can result in. And so I want to say that we have to be able to allow the mind. The mind can think anything and none of it can be true. Like all of it can be true. Like it can think anything. Is any of it true? Is any of it not true? What I do know is that when someone comes into me and they've got suicidal thoughts, the best thing I can do is be like, you don't think that. You picked that up somewhere. You got it from YouTube class, your dad. Like that thing isn't you. And just because your mind's thinking it doesn't mean that your body has to get up and be moved by it. As long as we can allow that thought to be there, it'll just stop eventually. It'll just go away because you're not giving it attention. You're not making it grow. But if you're like sitting there and you're like, what is wrong with me? Why do I think like this? Like, I'm really going to do it. Da, da, da. Your mind is terrifying you, and if you just come back to the place that my body won't be moved by my mind's allowed to think that doesn't mean it's true. As you get there and you start separating from these beliefs and these thoughts, it can just be so much more relaxing, easy, simple, and you don't blame any of it on yourself or others. So it's like life is totally different. Now that we've done our mind talk, the earth is going into an emotional gate, and it's the individual emotional gate. The moon is also in the individual mental breakthrough gate. And so we are getting into some individualness here, which I love. My chart is only individual. And I guess I'll take that back. We just talked about in a class today how my open sacral has both of the roll gates, and that's very interesting. My 2551 can be very tribal, like the tribal shaman, but it's separate. It sits at the top of the mountain and people can go find it if they need it. But overall, I'm a very individual, even in my tribal activations. And so this emotional energy, it's so important. Like when I'm talking about the mental stuff we just went over, That's collective. So when you're doing that, it's really for others and all this stuff. This individual emotional awareness energy here, a lot of it really is for you and your individual experience. And it's about honoring your mood for yourself. And it's like one of the most social gates that there is, but if you go out and try to be social when you're not in the mood, you can be misperceived, you can be taken as disgraceful, like things can just like not work out because you're not honoring yourself first. And so I love to move into the individual energy because this is what it's all about. It's about honoring yourself, your moods, putting yourself first, doing the things that are good for you. And so this is called second class ticket in social interaction. And really, it's enjoying a subordinate position, responding to life, letting life lead, or it is social humiliation and misperception, maybe because you are being controlled by your own mind or somebody else's mind. And emotional awareness is beyond belief. It's destroying what the mind thinks about life right now, in my opinion. It's destroying what the mind thinks about life, self, and other. And we're all going through that, and we don't know what that means. And knowing that you're not the mind is the best thing, right? Because as we see our beliefs not be true, making it through that can feel hard. And it's funny because when you think about subordinate position, it can literally seem like you're just like this subordinate person, right? Like maybe you're making another person your authority or something like that. But I swear life can be the authority. Like you can just respond directly to life, and that can be your subordinate position. And in that position, I mean, it's wonderful. You gain emotional clarity. You're not certain about anything. You're living a relaxed life and you're trusting it. And you don't really get in the position of being humiliated or having an authority. So it's really interesting to me. And this energy is all about the power to empower attentiveness, which is hilarious because people don't listen. They don't pay attention. They can't be subordinate to life because they don't see and hear life. Like they don't have their personal connection to life. And so an individual with this energy is walking around empowering that attentiveness. Listen, look, attempt to understand, pay attention to what's going on around you. Like life has so much to teach us if we can just be present and there with it while we're living. Let me see. This is an emotional wave, and it is about individual social skills. So that can bring a lot of like rejection. It brings a lot of change. It brings a lot of mutation. This expands horizons. This is someone who's like, look, I lived this and no one can believe it because there's no way to prove your own experience or what you've been through. And maybe that's what emotional awareness will do. It will teach us that we can all have these right and different experiences and be right and different within ourselves. Like we are changing and the way that we see and work with life is changing. And this mutation, it can be so strange, so as we are changing, I think honoring your moods is one of the very best things that you can do. You cannot prove experience. You cannot prove what you're experiencing to anybody else because nobody else can climb in your body and experience what you are experiencing. And so allowing yourself to have a unique experience that other people do not believe in, or you get pushed out of the group for having, it's like work with life. Life gave you that experience and it's for you and you can let it be that simple. And when you let it be that simple, you are sharing spirit with others. Honestly, you're sharing spirit all the time because if you're wandering around and you're in a bad mood and you're in social situations, you're still sharing some form of spirit. Maybe it's just not empowering attentiveness and it maybe doesn't feel good and maybe it's not going so well. It's like the more that you can accept yourself, the more that you can respond to life, the more that you can share the true individual spirit with the other and help them empower their own, individual emotional awareness. And so last but not least, another individual gate, this one is in the mind and it's called breakthrough. It is the inner ear. And it's very much like realization, except realization is collective and it's about the past, and breakthrough is individual in the now. It's just boom, what? Totally different. I don't have experiences to back up this difference. Now that I know this, what the hell do I do? Like, how do I live my life? Right. And it's like this energy, so much of it is just being patient because you have to be able to explain what you know now. And if you can't explain it yet, then it's not time. You know, sit back and relax and let life bring you everything that you need to be able to explain this breakthrough that you've had, and you will get that. You will get the depth that you need so that you can be accepted by the other and share your experience and your breakthroughs. And when you're in this energy in a correct way, to me, it's like the master integrator. Like you are literally eliminating hesitation. You are promoting resolution. You are bringing concepts and things and people together. You're splitting them apart. You're breaking them down. But it's like it's an integrator, so it can allow all of the happenings. You know, it can allow all of it to exist on the spectrum. And I think that can be so beautiful about this energy. And it can be hard. You know, people go through huge transformation around breakthroughs. It's like you're living in one way of being, and then you have that breakthrough, and then you have to move into that other way of being. And that's internal. It's a whole new foundation change in the way that you see and receive life. And it's also external. It's going to result in all these behavioral changes and how you live it out there. And so it can be a huge process, you know. So if you're going through your breakthrough processes and working with life today, I applaud you. Um, get to the point where you can explain yourself. You deserve it, and you don't have to pressure yourself before that point in time. If you do try to share it before you can explain, it can lead to rejection, and that's just silly. You know, it's like this part can be really hard for me because you still know it and you still live it, even if other people don't see it, you know? And it's like, how do you hold that when no one else around you can believe in your experience? I think this is something that life is putting all kinds of people in this situation. We're meeting our aloneness, we're meeting our individuality, and it can be scary and big, but at the same time, I think that it's going to be wonderful. You know, like as we move into this new energy, we're going to see our systems change, our relationships. We're going to live in ways that feel better for us. And it might be hard as we go through like breakdowns and putting down the things that don't work, but it's worth it. You know, it's worth it to pick up what does and move into the new ways of being. And so I hope you guys have a great Sunday today. I will be back on Tuesday, maybe even tomorrow. Be on the lookout. I'll come and share about this book. I love you guys. Have a great day.